Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Adam, you're holding it down solo, but I'm going to help you out as much as I can.
Perfect.
First of all, how's it in DC?
It's good. I feel like we had our one last winter. We had snow all day, all morning Saturday. So cold. It was 20 degrees yesterday. It's finally getting back to like 60 degrees.
Yeah,
So it's nice, but man, I wish we didn't have that little cold blast.
exactly. We had a similar situation here, so I definitely feel your pain. Feel your pain.
Yeah.
All right, well, what's going on in the world of movie reviews?
Yeah, so I say this last week, and I said this the week before. I'm going to catch up on the Oscar movies. I'm going to catch up on the Oscar movies. Well, guess what? I did not. There's still new stuff coming out, and the latest thing that caught my attention over one of the Oscar movies is Pixar's latest film, animated feature called Turning Red. And Turning Red is a comedy animated film about this girl growing up in Toronto, Canada in 2002. And she wakes up one morning to discover that she's a giant red panda. And so she has to navigate her life into turning into this panda, and she can turn it off. And what she quickly discovers is it's based on her emotions. So think of kind of like a nice, fluffy, Incredible Hulk scenario where if she gets very emotional, she turns into the panda. And if she calms down, she turns back. And what she has to do is kind of navigate what's going on with her friends, her mom, who's kind of very strict. She's an Asian Canadian girl, so she has very strict parents, and especially her mom, and wants her to kind of keep the temple and keep doing her chores and work and school and things like that. But there is a concert, and it's I think it's like a band called Four Boys. So think of like an NSYNC that's coming to town, and her and her friends really want to see it. And so she has to kind of figure out what to do with that while also figuring out how to stop becoming a giant red panda when she gets emotional. Needless to say, it's a really cute film. It's on Disney Plus, so it's a free watch if you have a subscription. And yeah, it had its fun moments. It's great kind of things, and you learn. You just learn, the mother, the film in the end, the mother is the true kind of villain, kind of like in real life. I'm just kidding, mom. But she learns to kind of get along with her daughter and let her daughter create her own path. So definitely highly recommend. Again, it is a kids movie. If you're looking for something light, the kids will love this. But again, Pixar movies are great, and we grew up on Toy Story, so this one is a good one to add to the list.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then that's all the chance I had to get to. Again, I'm going to try to catch those Oscar movies when I get a chance. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel season 4 is finally finished, so I want to check out that. But yeah, that was my main one.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking on my my DVR or whatever you call it now to see what I've been watching because there's so much good stuff on TV. But I have been watching on Hulu The Dropout, which is about the story of Elizabeth Holmes. She was the one that started the company, a healthcare technology that puts millions of patients at risk of losing everything in the blink of an eye. But turned out she was a fraud. And I start watching it, and it's really good. It's not something you have to watch, all at once. But I saw on Hulu they had a 2020 special following the case and everything. That woman was crazy. I mean, even changing her voice to sound more, but it was interesting because early on when she was in school, there was this professor who she wanted to work with, and the professor was like, what are you, a sophomore? She said, you need to go party, have fun, And she comes to the professor again, and she has this great idea, and the professor's looking at her, she's crazy. And she the professor started kind of second guessing herself, as the company started. Once the truth came out about what she was really doing, the professor said, at least I know I wasn't going crazy. Someone dedicated her life to science and health care. So, but she had a relationship with this guy. She met him overseas, I think, a school program, but he was actually there he was already very wealthy, but he was there to learn. I think it was Mandarin, which they were
Mhm.
learning, and they ended up getting into a relationship. At first, they were just there to keep each other company, but they ended up getting a relationship. And then but he apparently he was very controlling and very. This is what she said about him. But she ended up bringing him on because she was starting to get, the people were trying to figure out that she didn't know what she was doing. And
Yeah.
the contract she kept saying that she had, with these huge companies she didn't have. And so when they're about to fire her from being on the board, she told them she had a $20 million these funds for the thing. And of course they kept her. And it was really the man's money. And so she convinced him that if he funded that 20 million, that she would let him be, on the board. And
Mhm.
so it's just a lot that happens. But I mean, we know how the story ends. She doesn't get sentenced long in jail, which is surprising. But she maintains her innocence. Because they said it's kind of hard to prove if she was truly endangering people's lives, or if she just thought she was doing the right thing and it just didn't work out. So it's kind of hard to tell what she was doing. So she was found guilty on some kind of financial fraud or something like that, because she was telling people that she had these contracts and she had this product that she didn't have. So that's what they got her on. But yeah.
Yeah, and she just got charged, I think, like
Mhm.
a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
uh, that makes me think, and I don't know if this is going to be a trend. We've kind of, I guess, maybe run through all of our real life murderer shows. Are we going to get, because Inventing Anna came
Yeah.
out as well, about the lady, the New York fake heiress.
Mhm.
Is I wonder if this will be a trend of, are we getting now people who've defrauded companies? Is that going to be our
Right.
newest like series now that we've gone through all the murderers? It'll be interesting. I don't know who else there is, but I'm sure there's a ton of
I'm
con
sure.
artists out there.
Yeah.
And if these become popular shows, we'll just see more of them.
Well, another thing she did, and people think she did it deliberately during the trial, she got pregnant. And
Mm.
so her attorney asked if they could push back the case so she could until she had the baby, which she was able to do. And that professor, she said, I bet she did it on purpose because they had sympathy for a mom, a young mom. But yeah, she is interesting. She was very interesting.
Yeah. So how's I forgot who plays the character in the
She does
show,
a
but
great job. Her name
okay.
is, what's her name?
Yeah, I know. I
Amanda.
just
Say,
Amanda Seyfried. Yeah.
yeah, she does a great job. She looks just like her too, like the way they do her up,
Yep.
Um, but it was interesting because people were very interested, especially people who worked in that industry were interested in working with her to help these people. And then remember the first instance, they went to this cancer facility, and she was doing the trials because they're trying to do trials to test the thing on people who were terminally ill of cancer. And
Mhm.
he couldn't even look at her. He was like, and he even walked out, the man who was helping her administer the stuff. And he said, I'm not built for this. This is not what we're doing. This doesn't even work. And she said, well, we can't get tested. We don't have a clinical trial. And these are people that were sick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was telling them a dream that wasn't happening. And she had several people quit. Like one woman joined her, left Apple to go join her company. And she quit when she saw what was going on. She said, did you knowingly treat stage 4 cancer people? And she quit. She
Yeah,
quit.
that's crazy.
But yeah, it was very interesting. But that was good.
How about Big Brother? Is that still going on, or?
No, but it is coming back. The real, we had Celebrity Big Brother, but the regular everyday people, that's coming out, I think, this summer. I think it's,
Okay.
yeah,
N-
so that's
n- do you get into the 90-Day Fiancés or the Too Hot to Handles or any of those shows?
I don't I'm still on Love is Blind. That was a good show.
Okay.
That was a really good show. And I'm not really into those dating type shows, but you know. Um Love and Love and Marriage Huntsville, that's a reality show that comes on network. We've had two of the guests on here before. They're really ramping this. I guess the new season's about to come out, but they're doing like all these different specials. It's interesting, a lot of time they're putting into the show. I'm like, is it out yet? But really, the first one was how social media has has evolved into the show. like
Uh-huh.
how much social media impacts the show, not only by the cast, but by people, chiming in, the viewers.
Yeah.
So they did part one, part two of that. And then this past weekend, they showed an episode where it was like the last reunion show, what we didn't see behind the camera. I'm like, they're really putting a lot of like both, I guess reminding people what happened last season. But I'll be
Yeah.
curious. I do
Filler.
like the people on that show, so it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. But
Awesome.
yeah, but yeah, a lot of good shows out there. You know,
Yeah.
anything,
It's
anything
hard to
coming up
catch
the pipeline?
No, I want to say I'll try to catch an Oscar movie this weekend. We'll see. I've yeah, I want to catch up on Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I don't know if you ever watched that show. I think you'd like it, but
Ty loves it. Ty
yeah.
loves that show.
Why haven't you watched it?
I just haven't. But yeah,
All right.
Ty, he loves that show. He was just talking about it the other day.
Good. Yeah. Well, then tell him I'm going to catch up because I
Okay.
do want. I'm still in that mentality. I hate shows doing every week or 2 episodes a week. I'm going to wait till it's all out and then
Yeah.
I'll start watching that. That's just the way we should be. None of
Mhm.
this slowing it down again. So
Right.
anyway, that's on my radar. But yeah, I really, it'll be up in the air. We'll find out what's coming out and we'll surprise everyone.
And Bel Air is really, really, really a good show.
Is
Really-
it? I don't know. Without Will Smith, how can it be? I don't.
And
We'll
it's,
see.
it is so it's so much different from how the sitcom was, but if you watch it, you do get it. It's not too far from it that you're like, this doesn't even seem like the same show, because it definitely is. You know what I mean? It's
Okay.
just not, it's just not a comedy, but there are comedic moments.
Yeah,
It's
I
really
saw the
good.
trailer and I felt like it's just Empire, but with a teenager as like the main
Much-
character.
Much better than Empire, though.
Oh,
Empire,
really?
much better than Empire. Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. And it's interesting because some of the people, they don't have, some of the characters don't have the same traits that they had on the show. Like Philip Banks, he's running for some office. I can't remember what it was. And then Vivian Banks, she's an artist. She had, I guess, left being an artist to help him, raise the kids and everything. And now she's falling back in love with there. But there's this guy on the show. He's played by Michael, I can't think of his name, but Michael Ealy. He plays on the show, and he is the one that's trying to encourage her to do her painting, her artistry. But it comes off that he's flirting with her a lot, and Philip is peeping it. As a matter of fact, because Philip's all into his campaign, so Vivian, she's finding her voice back. He didn't even know she was painting again. And then she went to this retreat or whatever, this event where they were debuting some of her painting. And the guy was there, and they were like sitting at the table, and then Philip shows up. And she's like, what you doing here? But he was like, but he did research on the guy. And apparently he's been a womanizer. So but he swears him down. It's just professional. And he said he does trust Vivian. He does trust her, but he doesn't trust that guy.
Yeah.
And then Vivian, she's more down to earth. She's still prissy, but she's very down to earth. Ashley,
she's less of the airhead that they kind of put her in the original.
Exactly.
Okay.
She's a social media influencer.
Okay.
And Ashley is she's bisexual.
Okay.
Carlton he uses cocaine, but he's trying to find himself because Will's gotten there and he's very popular. And him and Will are actually have a better relationship now. They couldn't stand each other, but they have a better relationship now. But Carlton, he's seen as a sellout to a lot of the Black students because he only hangs with the white students, and they feel like that he's out of touch. And so,
which was an actual episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the original series. So
Will throws him. So apparently, Carlton had this girlfriend, and they broke up, and her and Will have become really cool, but now they're dating. And so they're not putting it out there yet. Will say he's going to talk to Carlton, but because Carlton just got into it with, people on his lacrosse team. He doesn't want to give him too much right now. And so Will throws Carlton a party to help him get a new set of friends. He doesn't need those people on the lacrosse team. And so there's a big party going on. And here's the thing. Carlton always, anytime Will is doing something he's not supposed to be doing, Carlton always sees it. Always sees it. And so at one point, Will and his girlfriend, who's down low girlfriend, they're in the bedroom. And Carlton is, engaging with the party, and then he's looking for Will. I say, he's going to find him in that bed. He's going to find him in that bed. They actually did a really good job of it because, like, the writers and directors, because you thought Carl was going to come up and catch them in the bed because he was coming up the steps. But there's a knock at the door. It's police to break up the party. Carlton's ex-girlfriend, Will's new girlfriend, her dad is chief of police. And so she thinks she can help not get people in trouble by coming down and saying, here's my dad, which she does. But in doing so, you can tell her and Will have been in bed together. And so the ending of the scene is Carlton's looking at Will like, really? I thought we were getting some, you know what I mean? And so, yeah.
Pure
it's like
drama.
It's a cliffhanger, but it's really good.
Is Jazz on the show? They at least got
Jazz on the show. Jazz is really cool. He manages or owns a record store that his dad left to him or somebody left to him. And he so him and Hillary, they start kind of kicking it a little bit. And there's certain things that Hillary won't do on social media that they want her to do, like be real sexy and provocative because she's into cooking. And so she actually decides to do like a little, risque cooking channel, cooking show or post, but she doesn't post it. The people in the house she's staying in, it's an influence house, he posts it and it goes viral. And so she's trying to get him to take it down. And he was like, listen, it wasn't my intention to, to offend you or whatever. And so he said, but I have people here from Variety Magazine who want to meet you. And so when Hillary went to go meet the guy, he had ghosted her. What's his name?
Jazz.
Jazz had went with her to help support her in getting it down. And so she leaves him at the bar. She's like, right back. He's gone. She's gone forever. She apologizes. And he was like, that's okay. Here's your drink I bought for you, whatever. It's watered down because she's been gone. And so she pretty much tells him she decided to go with Variety and not take down the video. And that caused a clash. She's thinking, oh, I thought you were better than that, kind of thing. So it's just a little interesting things going on in the show, but it's really good. Jeffrey is not the butler. He is the head of security for the Banks family. He's hard. He don't play, but he has his accent.
Is he still okay? So he's still British, fakeish, or Canadian, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a good show. It's a really good show.
All right. Well, the best thing about this conversation is you just told me all about it. Now I don't have to watch it.
I'll tell you about the last episode. I didn't tell you everything.
Well, I know he ends up in Bel Air and shenanigans ensue. Every TV show, right?
Right. Well, listen, Adam, thank you as always for letting us know what to spend our time and money on, what not to, and have a great week.
All right. Thanks, you too.
All right, right back after this.